Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're at. I don't know. Right now, maybe it's because we're a little early. Thanks for joining us a couple hours early. Uh, Daniel, can you make sure you can hear me? Last time I had it so that nobody could hear me.
I'm pretty
You're
sure
good.
they
I
can hear
can
you.
hear
Excellent. Woo! That's a win. All right. Cool. All right. Anyways, we're here. I'm Axel Raven. We're here for Minor League Fights and Insights. Uh, you're not muted this time. Yes. Thanks, Derek. All right. It's an exciting day today. It is game day. We haven't had a game the same day that we've had a show. That's one reason why we're coming to you 2 hours early. We're here to preview the tonight's two semifinal games in the minor league playoffs that are happening tonight. One of them is at 6 Central, 7 Eastern, or the next one after that is 8 Central, 9 Eastern. Daniel, you're here with me. There you are. Hello. Good evening, sir. How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody else doing? Excited for some playoff action, and in the following week, excited for some drafting.
That's we are getting closer. Who knew that we would reach this time? What, 9 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago? Gosh, the time is flying by. I didn't. November's gone. We're already almost at Christmas time in December. How's your month been so far?
Very hectic, but I think I got everything I need to get done for the Christmas holiday. So,
Good. That's good. Yeah, we were wife and I were just finishing up some shopping yesterday. Did some grocery shopping. We're hosting our Christmas family get together here at our house. So we're doing some cleaning and laundry today. Lots of different things. So 'tis the season, but it's also football season. So we do have a special guest with us who's on the line. Let's see. Let's listen in. Yep. Hello, Orain. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. What's going on, boss?
How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Thanks for
can't
joining
complain on
us.
this side.
Absolutely. We're living the dream, right, Daniel?
Oh yeah, I dream of football, football, football. I feel like every day this week I've had football in my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Doesn't get much better than that. All right. So, Orain, thanks for being here. I want you to tell us, if you could, a little bit about yourself. Who is Orain Darby?
Well, in a nutshell, I'm a Jamaican born and raised, 31-year-old Army vet. Staying home dad as of right now because of a back injury that I'm dealing with. Um, but just a down to earth person. Don't really talk too much, and unless it's something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But that's about it, really. I I love football. I love football, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here. So yeah, that's really me in a nutshell.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you live in the States now, or are you still south in the Caribbean area?
Oh
Or
yeah, I've been living here for over like 10 years. I
cool.
live in Deerfield Beach, Florida.
Nice. Awesome.
So yeah,
So,
I
Rain,
love it here.
awesome. Good. Um, Tell us a little bit about your SFLM journey so far. What has it been like? And this is your second season with in the minor leagues.
Yes. It's been up and down. Last year we all know what happened with the fuel last year. But at the same time, as bad as it was, as far as the wins and losses goes, it was still good. Meeting the teammates that I have, that I still have now, and the new guys that came in. It's been great, honestly. The only thing I wish I could, be on the field a little bit more, kind of impact some games. But other than that, it's been great.
Very cool. So, tell me, what has been one of your favorite moments so far in your time here?
My favorite moment so far, I would have to say winning that last game of last season, where instead of going straight, losing, I
Yeah,
won that one game, and I was player of the game. So that was my greatest moment so far because I impacted that game pretty well. So
awesome. And you've been out there. I
But
think, like watching some of your more recent games these last couple weeks, you've been out there making big impacts now versus just wishing you were and finally doing it last season. But you're out there game in, game out, giving it all you've got. It seems.
yeah, I'm trying. I just gotta put something on tape so the scouts can see me a little bit.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit. If you had to picture like your ideal professional team, your pro SFL team, a team you might end up on. Let's say, what are some characteristics or traits of that ideal pro team?
Um, well, honestly, I'm looking for a team that's gonna utilize me in the best way possible. You know, that's really all I really care about. As far as the locker room, I could fit in anywhere, any locker room. So that's not really an issue. It's just me being utilized is really my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm good. I go anywhere.
Nice. So you're flexible, nimble, ability to get along with a lot of different
Right.
people.
I mean, if you see me out on the field, I got the agility. I'm flexible like that.
Yeah. Cool. How does it feel to? So tonight is our first game of the season 4 playoffs. How do you feel going into this game? And we're not even an hour, less than an hour from kickoff. How are you feeling about the game?
I'm feeling pretty confident. Actually, I'm feeling really confident in the team. Our defense has been great. Actually, for the past 2 seasons, our defense has been stellar. So it's just looking to see what we do on offense tonight is really what I'm looking forward to. But I'm feeling really confident. We're gonna be doing great things tonight.
Very cool. Daniel, do you have any questions for Mr. Darby?
Yes, but of course, Mr. Darby, congratulations on making it to the playoffs. Good luck tonight. I suspect a win personally, but we'll get that back to that when we actually do our coverage on that. But you you've been here last season. You struggled. The team struggled. You didn't struggle, but the team itself struggled to get a win. What is the difference between this season uh, and last season? Do you think that really made the change for you guys to go on this tremendous streak compared to what you guys had last season?
Progression is the biggest thing. I believe progression is what made that happen for us. We had a lot of guys return, and then with progressions, they the coaching helped us with that, and we've made the adjustments, and now we're here where we at now. So I
Yeah,
think
very
it's
good,
just
very good.
helped a lot, and the returning guys that we got with us.
And one more question for you, Mr. Darby, since you are the only one on the line today. So I feel like asking two questions.
That's
Last,
okay, man. I'm here.
I want you to get as much attention as you can for everybody watching. So last season, yeah, you didn't get drafted. Unfortunate. It happens. The wide receiver is a very hard spot to get drafted right away. What
Right.
things have you done this season compared to last season that might have changed that? Have you been talking to owners more? Have you done anything different on that regard?
No, I haven't done anything different, honestly. I think one of the main reasons I think why I didn't get drafted, maybe that's one of the reasons me not reaching out. But I came in the league, I think, with a different type of mindset. Like, okay, we have the structure that we have right now. So we got GMs and owners and scouts and all the coaches and all that. I figured it was guys gonna do their job as far as the position is required. The scouts go out and scout and so on and so forth. So maybe that's me kind of screwing myself in that way by not putting myself out there, kind of be my own agent. But at the same time, I'm just enjoying my time here, doing it the way I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like I need to change anything. If I don't get drafted now, it will happen because my player is gonna get better. So and there's gonna be needs at that spot. So I'm not really worried about it.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your honest answer, and that's all I ever want is to have people see you for who you are. Excellent, your turn.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna hide anything.
awesome. Yeah, and that's one thing that I really love about the league is that you can come into it and you know, though there might be a common way or a common method that people do certain things, there's no reason that you can't try something else, experiment a little bit, buck the system, if you will, and sort of make it your own thing, which I think is exactly why it's such a great league. Is that people, there's a place for many different people here, that kind of thing. So, any questions for us or Ain?
Not really. I mean, not well. I tell you what, Daniel. As far as I know, you shot me out a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'll be watching the show. Um, can you give me any advice? As because I know you a free safety. Can you give me any advice as to what I need to do to make my player better as far as going up against guys like you?
Well, I think you're doing fabulous as it is right now. I mean, I'm sounding you out because you are the deep threat on the navigators. Keep doing your progressions, keep doing your work. Your speed and your route running will be key. And a lot of people in the pros for safeties, they don't max their jump, so you should be able to out jump them. There's a little hint from me to you.
Okay, I appreciate that, boss.
Well, cool. All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and good luck in your game in 45 minutes.
I appreciate that, man. Y'all stay up and keep doing the good job y'all doing.
All right. Thank you so much. See you later.
You guys from having me.
All right. Cool. Okay. Well, that brings us to the topic at hand, our two different games that we've got coming up. So, in game one, we have Lexington traveling to Annapolis. This is our first early game, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Similarly, just like where you've always seen it streamed on the SFL YouTube channel. So we've got Annapolis. So I haven't done this type of side by side for a few weeks now, or maybe even 4 or 5 weeks. It was interesting going back and updating the spreadsheet, how much everybody has progressed and grown. There have been many people that have been boosted up 3, 4 at some of those running backs, getting a couple animations. All of a sudden, they're 12 points more than they were before. So it's sort of interesting to see that. But yeah, we've just like we've always seen, Annapolis has been really strong on their offense. We've got now silver Gene Struthers, 2 silver wide receivers with Nick Lockett, which we had on last week, and Rain we just talked to, and then Randy Squarebush is the right now the running back to beat for the teams. And their defense is no joke, no slouch. They've been playing above their value all season, really, which is great. And then coming in, the Lexington Miners, I feel like they're sort of like the underdog, the team that hasn't heard or is refusing to listen to others saying, "Oh, you're only 4-4" or something like that. That you're not going to be able to make it in the playoffs, and they take it as like a chip on their shoulder and want to prove them wrong. That's sort of the mentality of Ethan coming in, their head coach. So they've got like this fire burning inside of them. And again, looking at their players, they've been able to bump up. They're now have their 2 silver wide receivers as well. All there are no more quarterbacks in the SFLM that are bronze. They've all been advanced enough to either gold or silver, which is just a pretty big feat finishing out this season here. But again, similarly, their defense is no slouch either. Daniel, what's your take on this so far?
Uh, it's very interesting to see the difference between now to the end, like how quickly people actually get a chance to progress, see where they stack up. As for the game itself, you know who I'm gonna pick. It's obvious. Day and night. I picked Navigators from the start in the poll
You did?
in the little bid. They were my dark horse. I want them to go all the way. I think they're gonna come back with a fury with Randy Squarebus after that last loss. Like they're angry now. You don't want them angry.
Yeah. And I know, again, Lexington came back. They have a retribution or revenge on their mind as well. Not from last week, but from the week before. Week 8 was when the 2 of them switch over to that slide here. So they last met in week 8. This one, again, Annapolis overtook them. They did, Lexington did have some moments of especially early in the game, it seemed like they were able to control a little bit of what was going on by the play of Squarebush. But it wasn't quite enough, and Squarebush, they just sort of got humming, and even through the air, you can see Annapolis had 264 yards, 2 touchdowns. They did get some pressure with 3 sacks, but really Struthers played a very clean game, which I think is what they're going to need again here. They held Squarebush to less than 200 yards. And held them to only 34 points, which had been a feat at that moment, with Annapolis having well over 40 in many of their games previous. Um, we also have on the line, and I don't have a little card here, a little name, but Nathaniel Diggs, inside linebacker for Madison, is joining us on the phone. Nathaniel, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
Just listening.
Did you have any takes so far on this game, or anything that stood out to you?
Uh, like Daniel said, I think Lexington's going to come back and play a lot harder than they usually do. They play well, but I think they're going to come out, like you said, with a vengeance in this game. One thing about the locker room, just like me with Madison there, you always want to try to get that perfect season, and it's cool to get. But I would rather take that loss during the season going into the playoffs than win all season and take that L in the first round of the playoffs. So they're going to play a lot harder. If Lexington wants to win this game, uh, the obvious thing is they're going to have to slow Squarebush down. Passing game, they both pass a lot. You can see from the stats there. But I think it's going to come down to, can they stop Squarebush when it counts for them to pull it out? But I'm going to go with Daniel here and say Annapolis is going to take this one.
Mm-hmm. And one thing interesting, thinking or looking back to the game last week, Annapolis against Madison, looking at the amount that Squarebush ran, as well as the amount that Struthers threw, it seemed like maybe the Navigators had switched up maybe their approach that they had maybe taken through the first 8 weeks of the season, and put a little bit more pressure or onus, a little bit more focus on the pass game, thinking that Madison having such a strong run defense had been a history throughout the rest of the season, to sort of spare Squarebush a little bit and maybe take a little bit more of a try to get us through us as in Madison, through passing to the tight end and a little bit more of the passing route. It seemed like that sort of backfired, I think, for them, if that was the case. But I'm curious if, it may not be the smartest thing to go into the exact same, use the same playbook that you did, even though they did win. Annapolis did win against the Miners. Do you go back to the same playbook that you knew won there, or how much do you shift it? Do you change it just a little bit? Do you analyze the game? Are you banking that the Miners are going to be bringing the same type of defense or offense to the game? That's sort of a interesting game planning thing. Daniel, do you have any thoughts on how where they might go, what they might do, or what their thinking process might be, or what?
If I'm kind of digging into the next game here a little bit with explaining this, but I think Lexington knows what they need to do, and that's really keep Squarebush from running. Try to prevent what he does best, which is break a tackle and bust at 70, 80 yards for a touchdown. So when they went against Madison, Madison is good at stopping the run, but I think their pass defense was kind of overlooked throughout the season. They kind of people focused in on, hey, they were stopping the run. Um, but Lexington, I think, is going to have to focus more on the run and the pass. They may tweak a couple little things in there to give a few different looks, but I think you're going to have to stick with the most important thing, which is stopping the run, and they know that.
Yeah, I'd say in general the safeties and the cornerbacks of Lexington are sort of their strong area right now, where their defensive, their D line and linebacker core maybe isn't quite as stout as others might be. So I feel that might be kind of true what you're describing, Nathaniel. Daniel, do you have any thoughts so far?
So Navigators were getting off pretty good with the passing game. Like Gene Struthers, O-Ring Darby, deep passes, they were working wonders last few games. Madison has one of the best defenses though, right? Don't let's not kid anyone. Madison probably has the best defense if you count for the whole season. They only allow so many points per game. I think at one point it was 11 points per game. I'm pretty sure that rose a little bit since then. But at one point, they only allowed 11 points per game. So I know Navigators, it hurts that they lost, but I think they go back to Square Bus and just keep running, keep driving. Show people why he might be the prime time pick in the draft.
So going back to what you know, going back to the tried and true, what's worked for you previously. Gotcha. Cool. Well, that's our first game. That's the one that will be starting in 37 minutes technically. Again, you can catch that on our the SFL YouTube channel. It'll be streamed live there. Our game two pits Memphis is visiting South Wisconsin in Madison. Um, so here we have the River Runners coming to town against the Lynx. The standout here has to be GP Wells. He's been Memphis itself and GP Wells, correlated probably a lot. That they've been on a pretty hot streak the last, I'd say, 3 games that they played. That a bye last week, so they had some extra time to do some simming against possible teams or Madison if they thought that who was going to be winning, or against maybe they were simming against Annapolis as well, maybe thinking that Annapolis was going to beat Madison last week. I feel like GP is that he's almost like I almost say he's like a little squirrel that can just wiggle in and out, and once he's out, he's just breaking away and is uncatchable. But he's more of the nimble, spinny, very similar to Doug Brown. If when Doug Brown does get that ball and gets that. Seems to when he's up against a defense that's allowing him to do that. They also Memphis has a really stout cornerback, defensive back area, specifically the cornerbacks. We've got Laquan Smith here as a silver. One of the I think Terrence Pearson just got an animation to bump himself up to gold and overtake Laquan as the number one cornerback in the minor league right now. Laquan previously was last week before this last progression. Looking over at Madison, we've got Xander Moon, who's been, it took a handful of weeks to get to the point where Madison was starting to see the offense there. The defense was beating those games. But now, seeing how they put up, I want to say 30 some points last week against Annapolis, a pretty solid defense all around. And similarly, I think there was another game that they had another breakout play or another breakout game. And I feel like Madison, if both pass and rush are humming and are working even moderately productive, they do really well. If one starts to stifle, they become a little one-sided on the offense and somewhat struggle and are sitting on the sidelines then with the fingers crossed, hoping that the defense keeps them in that game. But again, talking about the defense, they've been under the tutelage of Adrian Blaine being really that last barrier between any wide receiver or running back and the end zone. Adrian, she's been really top notch this season so far. It's really hard to get past her. Michael Lister is also a really solid safety, and then Clay Martin, I believe, last week had 2 picks against Struthers, I want to say, and then Robert Cherry getting that pressure in there. Similarly, on the defensive end on the other side in Memphis, Angela Meerkat, really huge benefit, big defensive end player there, getting that pressure on the quarterback. And in general, I think Xander has had his share of pressure and has had his share of sacks. I think he's on the higher side of average on number of sacks this season so far. Daniel, what is your take so far on this game?
Just for my review of the game here for Madison and Memphis here, like the chart thing says, they getting into your next photo. I don't know if you want me to get into that. I'm sorry.
Sure. No, I'll switch over to it.
And the stats on this photo here, it said they went in week 3. In week 3, Madison's offense still really struggled. They were still trying to figure everything out, and the defense, was keeping them in the game. The defense was tired, but they still played hard until the end, and they played effective until the end. So, with everybody's upgrades throughout the season to now, it could be a different team Madison's looking at. But with the offense finally clicking like we saw in the last game against Annapolis, if Madison's offense plays like that and the defense can stay rested and off the field for the whole time like that, it's going to be a lot tougher for Memphis than it was the first time. So, and then you got to look at like Charlie Baker. She's very clutch for Madison. She makes a big play when they need it, and like you said, Ellis and Foul is really taken off for them. And then you got to look at the defensive part of it. Even with that defense being tired when they played early in the season, that those backs held them to 63 yards rushing. So with Alvarado in there, he's playing like he's already bronze or copper, or whatever the lower one. But he's already playing at a high level right there with Diggs, and when even Bolt and them are getting in on these tackles. Blaine from like we saw early in the season, was it 12 or 14 tackles in one game? So they're always around the ball. So Memphis is going to have to play a game where they don't make mistakes. That's what's going to give them a chance in this one. To stay on the field as long as they can, keep the ball out of Madison's hands, and play an effective game. Whether even if it's small gains or runs, and just keep getting those first downs. They need to be effective and playing 100% accurate throughout this game to really be effective in this one.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Wright, your thoughts?
So looking at this and looking at the last game that they played, 63 yards rushing is not gonna do it for Memphis. They need to get GP Wells going, and he's like the one of the fourth horsemen that doesn't get a whole lot of talking about. Like only recently his name's been swirling around. But this guy is sneaky good when he wants to be. Like he had a breakout game against Tacoma, and he can do that, right? He can have those games where he's leading the charge when he wants to, and he needs to have one of those games. Defensive wise, both defenses are good. Like they're both good. 10-7. You saw right there. Offensive troubles for Madison, yes. They cleaned that up. But I think Memphis as well has been a different team since that game. They had like a 4-game winning streak before slowly stumbling themselves into the playoffs with a loss and then a bye. But if Memphis can be on that hot streak again, this game is going to be, I dare say, might be the game of the week, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like this one could go either way. Obviously, I'm hoping, being on the Madison side, that they can pull it out. But in running the different sims in preparation for getting the playbook in, which was due just last night. So up until midnight last night, there were things going on and tweaks being made and things. So, Nathaniel, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be. I mean, I'm going to vote, pull Madison out to win, and I'm not trying to come across as biased on it. But if Madison wants to win, for them, that offense is, like I said, going to have to play like they did last week. It took us all season to get that offense looking like it was good and doing something. And we've done good getting things done when they need it done. But I don't want to have a heart attack in this game. So.
And those first like 4 weeks of Madison's games were heart attack inducing games, with the three point difference oftentimes. I'd agree with you that in order, like, Marcus Duncan needs to be able to be sort of running downhill and getting those 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the handful of 7 to 10 yard uh, rushes. He's not one like GP Wells or the other four horsemen that can just simply break out into a 70, 80, 90 yard. Not to say he won't, but it's much less harder as a bronze to do that than a solid, very solid gold. So I think if Duncan can get rolling, that will start spreading out the defense a little bit, forcing maybe some man coverage or some different types of defensive zones or things that then could give Xander Moon a break in being able to get less coverage out there, so he can be able to throw it to more open players. Gosh, that was hard for me to get out. I don't know why. Anyways, so that's sort
Just
of the.
excited about the games. That's what it is.
I'm excited. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Nathaniel. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious on what those in the chat might have to say about who might be winning or not. But anyways, any final words? I mean, I don't know what else to say. I feel like this is the game. I'd agree with you, Daniel, that this is the game I think is the one that we don't know which way it's going to go, because it's been a number of weeks since they played. It was before it might have been around Halloween time. A lot of changes have happened on both coaching side and productivity side and progression side of the players. So they are very much different teams.
Yeah, you said it right there. There are much different teams. It's been since week 3, so it really is going to come back to coaching. That's what's going to come down to, right? Because it's been so long since they played together. You can't use the familiarity of the playing them before to really determine who's going to win. I will give the edge just because they won last time. The slight edge to Madison with their defense. But if GP Wells can get going, and it's a tough ask with the Madison defense to get GP Wells going. But if he can, this could be a showstopper of a game.
Mm-hmm. Nathaniel, do you have any last words?
Yeah, I've spoke on the games enough for the show. I think it's going to be a great evening watching them. But I want to take a second to congratulate all the players that made the playoffs here for the minors and wish everybody luck. It's going to be exciting. Uh, win or lose, don't get too excited. You break your TV or computer. So just be careful tonight and enjoy the show.
Yeah, it's bound to be a thrilling, exhilarating hour and a half for the first game, hour and a half for the second game. You'll see me there in chat hyping everybody up, and I want you guys to get hyped in the SFL Gen chat, in the minor league chat, and in the stream. So, Daniel, do you have any final parting words at all for tonight?
Sure. My final parting words, not just for tonight, but just for everything in general, is congratulations for getting through another season in the SFL. No matter if you made the playoffs or you didn't, you all did it. You all got through it. Now it's time to look forward to the future. So, if you are a type of person that will look to contacting owners, go ahead and do so. You should be already done so. Keep doing so. If you're like Darby, and I'm sure there's others like that who's like let my talent on the field showcase itself. Keep playing out there while you can. Showcase your talent. There's a multitude of ways to get drafted. The big step is just trying to get there. So, guys, good luck to everyone. Good luck tonight, and good luck next week and to the draft.
Appreciate that, Daniel. Well, that sort of sums up. We wanted to make sure that this is sort of a just a perfect size show. Give you guys a chance to grab some dinner, grab some popcorn, grab some drinks before the show, the real show for tonight starts at 6, streaming on the YouTube channel. So with that, I want to wish everybody good luck tonight that is playing. All the fans, make sure you check out the games tonight. It's bound to be a lot of fun. Anyways, so with that, wish you guys a great evening, and we'll talk to you later. All right. Good night.
Take care, everyone.
Have a good evening.